But pretty much everything I do work-wise is stand-up comedy related. Can't really do anything else. I've tried acting and I'm shit at it, so I'm just going to leave that to the professionals. But a few years ago, my agent said, why don't you go and do a voiceover show reel? So I didn't really know what that was, but I went along to the studio. Fella there, lovely fella. He said, we'll get you to do some different voices. We'll put them on a CD. Then you can tout it about, see if you can get some voiceover work. Brilliant. First question he asked, he said, can you do sexy? I said, no. And he went, go and have a try. So I had a try and he went, you sound like you're dying. And then he said, can you do bored? So I tried bored. And he went, actually, that's quite sexy. I'm only sexy when I'm bored. But I hope to get fucked good and hard in the post office queue. But in order to sort of improve my acting skills, I was having a bit of a daft carry-on with me fella, and I said, why don't you shout out emotions and I'll see if I can convey them with me face? And he went, OK. So he went, happy, and I went... And then he went, sad, and I went... And he went, surprised, and I went... And then there was a long pause. As it transpired, he had run out of emotions. Until a lovely light bulb moment when his eyes were really wide and he went, like you've just seen a monkey. That well-known fourth emotion. But we normally see each other a few days a week, but sometimes if work schedules clash, it might be 7 or 8 days before we see each other again. And we miss each other, of course we do. So what we do then is we'll speak on the phone a lot, obviously. We'll text each other a lot. And sometimes we'll send emails to each other with photographs attached. Not that kind of photograph. Look what you're missing. No. You might think this is quite sad, but I think it's quite sweet. And I'm slightly wearing my heart on my sleeve even telling you this. The most recent one I sent him was a picture of a sad kitten. And above it I'd written, this is how I feel. And this was the Friday, and when we see each other again on the Monday, and he sent back a picture of a happy dog. And above it, he'd written, but this is how you'll be on Monday. And then I looked properly at the photograph, and the dog had its leg in a cast. It went straight from being quite a sweet message to an actual physical threat. With 6 years together, I'm aware it's not a long relationship. We've got a long way to go. But we are finding sort of new, exciting ways to turn each other on are popping up all the time. And they could pop up in the most unusual of situations. We were having a carvery. I know. I fucking love a carvery. And with his pudding, he got a jug of custard, and he poured the custard onto his pudding. Then he licked the spout of the custard jug, and I was genuinely aroused. I just leaned over to him and I went, get in the car. Bring the custard.
Thanks for watching. You know what would be great is if you liked and subscribed. I'm so needy, I'm so sorry. And why not come and see me live? And the tickets are available at sarahmillican.co.uk. Put the kettle on and settle in.